to derail you. If you're bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8-man strong.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy, Juice Smith-Schuster, man. Shout out to Knockout Radio. Turn up.
All right, we are back. Final segment of this 3-hour circus. I want to thank... what are you doing?
I was drowned. I got an aqua suit on. I was trying to get you to remind me about the knockout. I talked about Vito Belfort and how he has like a fitness device that he works out in the pool with, and I think that's a great way for you to like stay on track for your weight goals. Keep working, racing to 199 pounds. You know, get there, Randy. Like, you can do this. Get in the water. Okay. It's no impact on your joints, circulation, cardiovascular endurance.
First of all, I don't need you to motivate me.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm just going to go. Because, I mean,
I've never wanted anybody to be electrocuted as much as I do.
Well, now I'm wet. That's dangerous.
That's what I'm saying. I'm really hoping.
Can I see your computer? Let me type in.
For some electric.
But water's great to move your body.
You know what the problem with working out and all that kind of stuff? It's too damn expensive.
It's not.
No, it is.
Call Vito. Vito Belfort has a product. He puts it in his videos. He has a bar, and he pushes it like it looks like milk jugs with slits in it that gives a resistance.
My son,
you don't have to go anywhere.
My son took his family to the YMCA.
Okay.
Loved it. It's a brand new one that was just built in St. Pete.
Yeah.
Loved it. Told my wife.
I heard it's a great facility.
Told my wife, by the way, if you're listening, happy anniversary. The problem is she's never has listened to the show. Loved it. Told my wife, yep, we're going to sign up. This is unbelievable. The pool, the gym, I'm pretty sure that they didn't go to the website to find out how expensive it is.
Oh. Yeah.
So, we've talked about this. Water is $3 a 16 ounce, and a Coke is 99 cents.
Yeah.
A salad is $8.99. A burger at any of these burger joints, including the one in Dublin that now owns the rights to the Big Mac.
The Supermax.
Yeah. Is 99 cents.
I mean, the picture of Dalton in his photo has the Burger King logo behind him in the photo where he's winning. And
so I would have swore that it would have had some trucks and some ships.
Yeah, but the logo's on the mat. So you would think when you go to the restaurant, they would actually be playing the loop instead of playing cute kittens and penguins and doing like the America's Funniest Home Videos. You would do sports and things that you sponsor as a brand, like Burger King is a brand of the UFC, and you would think there would be like MMA fighting clips and reels to entertain their fan base, but they don't. It's not aligned.
I don't know about MMA stuff in a Burger King.
Because it's too violent?
I just don't.
Because it was banned. You couldn't even find it in bars.
A lot of bars still don't do it.
Still don't do it.
Yeah.
You would go to like the Wing House or a Hooters, and then you would try to go out in the parking lot and duplicate what you just saw, and it was just like fights and brawls. I mean, it was dangerous.
I remember vividly going with a buddy of mine who used to work for the UFC. The UFC was in Atlantic City, and then it was like a UFC the next day as well. We drove to a Hooters. I don't remember where it was, south of Philly, and they were running the Hooters bikini calendar contest. Yeah. And I get it. It's a Hooter event, right. But you got enough TVs. I'm like, can you get the UFC on? And the manager's like, no, we're watching this. I'm like, you're sponsoring the UFC. Why would you not? And I finally convinced them to at least put one on.
I think I saw a headline this week that there's a photo shoot of bikini models, and it got negative attention because it was glorifying that's the image of a beautiful woman, where the most of society can't relate to it, and because they're not that thin or that shapely, and so it actually got negative attention, even though these girls work so hard to like maintain and work hard and work out and stay fit. But society's changing.
It is the world we know it. I was out at the Bucks today.
Yeah.
Vita Vea dropped a couple pounds.
Okay.
I don't know if I like that.
Why?
Well, you want your defensive line, especially he's the nose tackle. He's basically playing two positions.
So you need him to be bigger.
So you need to be bigger. You need to be, and he'll be. Everybody says how strong he is.
Right.
But if you're filling that gap in the middle, you can't be moved around. Which, let's see, if you go from this to that can be pushed around more than this.
Well, I mean, what we know about science, though, is that, the bigger the animal, like the shorter lifespan. So, like, these big linemen, they can't keep that weight. I mean, obviously.
But very few of them keep it after their NFL career. You're still doing damage by putting, I get it. But look at, first one that comes to mind is Brad Culpepper.
Yeah.
Brad Culpepper came back the year after he retired when Washington was in town because his former coach,
Tony Dungy.
Steve Spurrier.
Super Bowl champion.
Steve Spurrier. Well, not with the Bucs, he wasn't. He came to see Steve Spurrier, and the cop that runs the door where the Bucs come into wouldn't let Brad Culpepper in because he didn't recognize him.
Wow.
Because he dumped all that weight.
Ali Marpet. I mean, last time he came to the restaurant when I had the restaurant, he didn't look recognizable.
You were pretty rude, by the way.
I didn't know it was him.
Well, you got to be nice to everybody.
I am nice to everybody.
But you were not nice to Alex, or to Ali.
I was.
No,
I was.
You ignored him.
I did not ignore him.
You were like, hey, Alex.
Well, I knew Alex because I knew him by name. I knew his face, but I didn't know who the other guy was. I kind of had known that it was Alex, but he lost half of him.
Yeah.
Right? And he just walked away from the game because he's like, look, mentally, I'm done.
Well, it was many reasons, but it was that. It was.
Well, we see that more in sports. Like, well, these guys play less time. They're no longer the Brady, longevity play.
I don't know, because I think money has to do with that.
Yeah.
Now, will the star like that walk away? Did I say I got an argument, shocking, on the Book of Face because someone called Brett Perryman a legend?
Who is he?
He played receiver for a bunch of teams.
Okay.
His dad wasn't a legend, but he was a bigger name. And this isn't, I'm not being derogatory towards him. I just, where I stand with the word legend. So the guy then DMs me. He goes, please don't be rude on my Book of Face. I go, I wasn't rude. I just said he's not a legend. Well, he had a legendary play. You must not have been at the Buffalo game. I go, first of all, a play doesn't make you a legend.
Right.
He's not a legend.
It's true.
He had a good career. I wouldn't even say he was a great career. He had a good career. There's nothing wrong with that. Maurice Spates had a good career. He has a ring in college. He has a ring in the pros. He had a good career. He's not a legend. He might have made a legendary block or a legendary shot. Doesn't make you a legend. It's the same thing like I continue, and Steve will have to hear it again in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow, I believe, which is this year's UFC induction. And some fight, I don't know which one, is going into the fight wing. You're not a Hall of Famer. The fight is in the Hall of Fame.
So that brings me to the next question. Is Justin Gaethje, is what he did with Max Holloway, how he lost, does that make him a legend because of that war, because of his Dustin Poirier fight?
There were no bullets shot, so it wasn't a war.
Oh, I'm sorry. You correct me, but you don't correct the fighter.
Exactly.
Okay. But they were ranked number 4 and number 5 at the time. Dustin and Justin really had a rock'em sock'em epic battle in the middle of the octagon.
Okay.
Justin Gaethje, just photoed I showed you with Spencer, who was out with the GNAT in Denver. Their partners with Sculpted MD. And, where does Justin fit in that? Has he done enough in your mind to earn the L word, and or does he still have to continue on? Like, when's it enough for you as a critic or a media or aficionado? When?
There is no set date, time. You could be a legend. Barry Sanders was a legend in less years than probably most because he walked away.
Justin a legend?
I don't know. I got to think about it.
The way he stepped up and went out the way he did, the way he lost makes him immortal almost.
No, it doesn't.
That's courage.
No.
I don't think that was like
He first of all,
maybe the greatest UFC highlight of all time, and he is the highlight. That's his nickname.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd say it's the
really.
First of all,
it was the point.
He was losing. No,
Max
Holloway.
Right. Max doing the point, and Justin stepping up and just letting it go.
Justin had. I'm not ripping on Justin because he may be in that legendary, but that's his only way of winning that fight. So it's not like he stepped up.
You think he's still consciously aware of the score?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
In the deep waters like that.
Absolutely.
It's not just instinctive.
You don't think you're told? Hey, you hear it.
You don't hear audibly though. It's subconscious. You're so deep into the fear mechanism of a survival.
No.
he didn't hear the words. It was probably Charlie Brown. You ask him.
I will ask him.
You have a liner. You know him.
I don't have a liner. I do have a liner, but I'll call him.
I sat in front of him at the BKFC event. I couldn't believe I had a better view than that guy because he's a legend.
He knew where he was. He knew that he needed the knockout. So, yeah, big ups. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying it's more big ups to Max Holloway, who's won the fight, and says,
we're taking the risk to like,
bull crap, let's finish it this way. And yeah, Justin went after it because he had to.
Can two people become a legend on the same night? I mean, like, both those guys with that fight, similar to Bonner and Griffin, both those guys are legends.
I don't know. I don't know if Stefan's a legend. That fight was legendary.
It built the sport.
No, he didn't build the sport.
Well, it made it.
It helped. It pushed it. All that. But that fight was legendary.
What happened before that you remember? Before that fight, that really made the UFC what it was.
Well, again, it's come across, come so far. But Mark Coleman at 11. Mark Coleman early on. Even though it was awful. The Ken Shamrock Severin fight, that was awful. Because they were told if you throw a punch, if you throw a headbutt, you'll be fined. So yes, that fight moved everything forward, but I don't think Stephan Bonner, may he rest, is a legend. That fight was legendary, and there's a difference. We know about everything about Stephan, who was a great guy, and the whole 9 yards. And I almost wore the Josh Koscheck shirt. From his.
If you ever want to leave that behind, like in a will or something.
Not leaving anything.
Just I'll take that.
But so I obviously Gaethje and Holloway are more legends than Stephan, in my opinion. And Justin has done a lot. Max has done a lot. Justin, what he was when he came to the UFC, but when you're talking UFC legend, UFC Hall of Fame, that stuff doesn't come into play.
Is Ronda a legend?
You got to say yes just because she helped start the women's and then went on as a champion. And
so what's the difference between Bonner and Griffin and her impact in the female side of the development? His made it like the back and forth in that brawl.
Forrest won the title. Stephan didn't. Forrest's career moved to a championship level by winning a title. Stephan's didn't.
Couldn't they give awards or a part of the UFC Hall of Fame where it's impact to the sport, like create a new category, like their influence to bring a different clientele to the fandom and to the base?
Well, in a way it is, because the old time wing. Some of these fighters, Mark Coleman went into the old time wing, which I don't know if that makes sense. You're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer. It doesn't matter that he was
the pioneer.
Yeah, it's the pioneer wing.
Right.
Mark Coleman should be in the Hall of Fame, pioneer wing, old-timer wing, new-timer wing, whatever. I just think you need to do a lot more than just have a legendary fight. It's like Perriman. He had a legendary catch.
Right.
Big deal. What's the giant who caught the ball in his helmet? Tyree or something?
Yeah.
He made a legendary catch.
David Tyree.
Yeah. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Eli Manning, so you're going to say Eli Manning and Tyree are equal legends. No. He made a great catch on his head that stuck to his helmet, which enabled them to beat the undefeated Patriots. Doesn't make you a legend. You were involved in a fight that, if I remember my oldness, I thought Stephan won. That's how close that fight was. Even if he wins that fight, I don't think it changes. Forrest went on to win a world title in that organization. So to compare them both together is, in my opinion, wrong.
Okay.
A fight goes in. I love Frank Trigg.